Okay, so this game is not at all, it doesn't play like a MOBA at all. It is like, it's a lot more like Smash Brothers, with different types of game modes. So, and they're all very, very small number of abilities that they can utilize. So what I had to do is I had to take characters that if I condensed them down into basically 2 or 3 separate moves, like if I take their whole personality, their kit and everything, kind of condensed it into something smaller but functional, you know, what would that kit do? And I had to make each character do something different. So there's a mix of ranged and melee, there's different types of assassins and bruisers and things like that. So for example, in this game, your basic sort of character who's just a basic range character is Graves. So with him, he's got a double jump, he's got a dash, forward and backward, he's got his regular range shot, which goes full screen. He's got his smoke screen, which is your skill button, where he lobs the smoke screen bomb. You press it again to ignite it. Anything that walks through it gets slowed. It's good for zoning people out, slowing people in their objectives, things like that. And his very special thing about him is that when after you dash, like right at the end of your dash, if you attack at the end of the dash, he'll do his buckshot. So he'll fire 3 bullets in an arc rather than just 1. So that's it. That's that character condensed down to his basic version. For Heroes of the Storm, Sergeant Hammer, for example, she doesn't have any dashing, but she's got a triple jump. She's got like a AoE knockback for anyone that gets close to her. And her special thing is she can fire in 8 directions, up, down, left, right, diagonals. So she's got more accuracy in terms of aiming than other characters. So her kit's very small, but through having a full range ability that fires in 8 directions, that's really useful. So that's what she is. Then the other characters I finished, I have Juggernaut, works. His dash gives him his spin to win, but only for a brief period of time. His ult is his special skill is his Omni Slash, but it's a very, very specific version of it, where he basically he goes invisible and he's untargetable during the time, can't be hit. And then 4 versions of him slice out and then back in diagonal directions. So again, I have to take that. Clearly, it doesn't work the same way as it does in Dota 2, but it's the spirit of the character condensed into Dota 2, into this game. I've got working Volok from the now very, very sadly deceased Dawngate. I've got Freya from Smite. She's interesting. She is both a ranged and a melee character. Her regular attack is a short melee. Her skill button is her ranged fireball. It doesn't go full screen, but she's also a character who doesn't have any double or triple jumps. She can fly in the air. So if you jump and then tap jump again, she'll hover, and then you can just move her around with the arrow keys. So that's her very special unique ability. And all the characters go like that, or are planned to go like that. So it's all very simple, condensed, but they function at heart who they are in their original games. And some characters who were easy to translate function very similarly to their original games. mix of every type of I'm actually going to try to break my game so I can make it work. I'm going to go ahead and start. Can everybody hear me okay? Am I clear? Good morning, everybody. That's very nice of you all to show up on Sunday morning for a panel. That is really unnecessarily nice. Do I owe anybody money? So, full disclosure, the engine that I used to program my stuff updated today and literally broke the game today. So, there is less I can do today than I was intending to do. But I'm going to finagle something and try to get something working. Because I don't know, I screwed around with it this morning for a little bit, and I have literally no idea why the engine is throwing a fit over something. So what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to look under we're just going to do some code. It's cool. Maybe now we can get one player to work. Okay, so with some breaking and removing code, I can get a single player function to work, so I can at least show what some things look like. So essentially what this project is it's called Lane Crashers. And it's a small fan game, because I love all me MOBAs. And I've taken characters from 5 different MOBAs, 4 from each game, so 20 cast roster in all right now, and threw them together in a Smash Brothers-esque series of mini games. Some of them are just straight battle related, so there is a game mode that is identical to Smash Brothers. There are some game modes where you give like an objective you have to achieve. There's a mode called Excavation, for example, where there's a giant crystal in the middle of the screen, and every time you attack it, it breaks off pieces, and after you've attacked it enough time and broken off pieces, collect them. The gem will then disappear, and then you have to fight each other Sonic the Hedgehog style, where every time someone gets hit, they'll drop some of their gems, and so you have to try to hit them and then collect their gems while they're trying to do the same to you. At the end of the time limit, the person with the most gems is who wins. So you've got a big collection of various small ways to play this particular project. So let's see if I can actually get this working. Let's do, I don't even know what I would do to get things functional. We'll do volley because it'll allow me to see things if the section works. So in case you didn't see it before, this is the current roster of characters from worlds of different MOBAs. They're on the banner that their logo represents, and I tried to do it color themed and everything, so it felt right. So let's see if we can't get the single player thing to work with volley. So after it says go is where it usually crashes. Let's see if we can spawn graves while not crashing the game. Ah! I'm a genius! All right, so in volley, you're actually bouncing this ball around, and the 2, 3, 4 players, whatever, are all trying to just touch the ball. Every time you touch the ball, you get a point, and the ball bounces around wildly. So you're all just scattering about the screen trying to touch this thing. So let's see if we can get, okay, so let's see, Graves is working, so you've got general walking, you got jumping, you got double jumping, you got an attack. If you dash and then attack, you've got a buckshot, and then you've got your smoke screen, which when deployed slows people in it, not yourself, of course, but other players. Let's see if we can get this to work. Yeah, you son of a woo! So you've got, this is literally what this mode is, but imagine 4 people scrambling and dashing around trying to hit the damn thing. No, come back, you son of a... So this mode is just very frivolous and ludicrous. It's not particularly battle-based, but many of the others are. But yeah, that's literally just one character in a nutshell. Let's see if I can go through the list, I guess. So this is, I'm trying to get this project done as soon as I can, possibly. But this is sort of a back burner thing for me. I actually got, my career's really picked up, and I've got a bunch of big projects that I'm working on. So here's Juggernaut, auto attack, his dash, jumps, Omni Slash, and that's pretty much it for him. These are what the characters do, just not much. And more bouncing. Yeah. So my ultimate goal was I was going to have a lot ready today, but I do occasional contracts with a sizable game company, and I got called on to do some contracts in the ensuing month, or the past month. I was going to use that time to get this all sorts of ready, and so unfortunately it's not as ready as I wanted. Plus the crash this morning really screwed things up. So this is way less than I was going to have. I was just going to give people an opportunity to play. I was going to bring controllers and just have people just play it for a little while after explaining development and that kind of thing. Unfortunately, that won't be the case. But because I feel bad about it, if anybody wants to come up at the end of this and write down their email address, as soon as I have a demo that is functional, I mean, not full game, but just a demo, I'm willing to pass them out to people if I want to give them a try, with half a cast and, the game mode's working, that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in that, and you certainly don't have to be, of course, but if you are, just at the end of here, come on up, and I'm going to take down people's emails and names so I can make sure you get those. Who else do we got? Freya from Smite. Anyone play Smite here? Any Smite players? Just you guys? Any League of Legends players? Heroes of the Storm players. You guys love everything. I'm sorry, what? The next one? Dawngate. Hey, Dawngate was good. Dawngate had potential. I'm disappointed Dawngate died. It was destined to fail because of their business model. I agree. There was nothing wrong with the product. The people at Waystone did a good job. I don't know if they will or not. From what I understand, I have a friend who has one of them as a friend, and I think they're doing a different direction, but don't quote me on it. I don't know for sure. Okay, what else? What do we? No Heroes of the Storm, no Dawngate, no Smite, no League of Legends. Huh? Dota 1. No Dota 1. No, okay. Awesome Knots. I'm that way too. I play every MOBA. I'm in everything. I'm in the. Oh no, I can't actually say that. Never mind. I am in a thing that I can't say out loud. We'll leave it there. But I'm in the beta for like alpha and beta for just about everything. I just bought my way into Heroes, so I think I really am in everything. There's the shitty browser one. I don't remember what it's called. No, the Adventure Time one was actually kind of fun. I mean, it's bad, but you know, my friend and I won, nailed it. And that's how you beat Lane Crashers, everybody. Take notes. Write it down on GameFAQs. Sorry, I meant to actually show. So what do you play then back there? That's it? That's just Dota? Dota players don't expand much. Other MOBAs do. People who play League tend to play other things, but most Dota players I know are just Dota players. That makes sense. I mean, like I said, I like Dota. If I didn't, I wouldn't have included the characters. I think a lot of the characters are well done. I think the artists at Valve are very talented, and there's just too much micromanagement in that game for me. It feels like a MOBA simulator more than a MOBA. I don't know if that makes any sense. I have to click my own character to like control my own character. See, I feel like that's a default I shouldn't need to do. In fact, one of the things I think is funny is Valve specifically added in some of the lesser compelling elements into Dota 2 from Dota 1, like frame rates. They could have done better frame rates, and they gave the option to turn the frame rates down because it was too good comparatively to the original Dota, and some original Dota players just wanted that shitty frame rate, so they gave them the option. They purposely made it worse. Or the option to make it worse, you know. Okay, so I didn't get a chance to actually show Freya because I just won through the power of sitting still. Nailed it. Anyone who plays Smite, everyone knows that Freya is OP. So she's a ranged and melee character. And she flies. I might make her flight time longer, but balancing issues are not even. I've got bugs to fix before I get to balancing issues. But notes when I do hand out. That would be nice if anybody who does wind up playing the demos that I'll give out would give some sort of feedback. Would be useful for me, both in terms of balancing and of course any bugs you run into. But I will try to get them as bug free as possible before everybody gets their hands on it, because that just makes me feel like a bad developer if people get to play something and then it breaks. Always makes me feel like garbage. I'm not even going to bother showing them because nobody plays Dawngate in here, apparently. I think their actual last day of server usage is like next week or something. Yeah. Is it first weekend of February? I'm gonna have to jump on the server then. A big get together and do like a last day. That sounds like a good call. I'm subscribed to the subreddit for Dawngate, but I have so many subreddits I'm subscribed to. I rarely see Dawngate posts. I see a ton of League of Legends posts all the time. But so yeah, Sergeant Hammer doesn't have a whole lot of great things going for her in this game in terms of movement because that she's a tank, but she does have a triple jump. But she can fire in 8 directions. Definitely a good unique skill to have, especially in some of the game modes. So every game mode tests kind of different skills, some of which is sort of target practicing, and she's great in those. There's a... Okay, let's see if I can bring it up. She is really useful in... Confetti's a good one for her. In this game mode, players will compete to destroy these bots that fly into the air. I got finally Kara and Charlie showed up so they can tell you that this game actually used to have multiplayer in it. The game maker broke the newest build, so you can't set up. I had to delete multiplayer code to even get it functioning here because it crashes. But they helped me test it this week. They can prove to you that this game has multiplayer. But yeah, this is a target practice-y sort of mode. If you hit the flashing ones, you get a point. If you hit the non-flashing ones, you get minus a point. And so this mode, as you can see, is not really battle related either, but it's more about just trying to complete a specific objective. There's no sounds or anything in the game yet. That'll all just come last. It's not important to getting things working. So yeah, I wish I could have showed you guys more. I really wish I could have, but I got kind of duped, unfortunately, by fate. So with that in mind, does anybody have any questions or thoughts or anything they want to share with the group? Pass some notes in class. What's up? It's just the starting roster. Once I get these characters to full functional in every game mode, bug-free, and all of them are working, I plan on releasing it and then kind of just testing the water. If a lot of people really like the game, it gets a lot of downloads, and I get a lot of requests to add more characters, new franchises, to add Awesome Knots and Strife and other things, then I'll be happy to do it. By the time the game gets to bug-free and each character works, it's not going to be a lot of effort to slap in new characters. Characters themselves are actually not very time-consuming in this game. The sprites are small. There's not a lot of animation. The thing that winds up taking up all the time is getting the literal core building blocks of this entire game on its legs and operational without any problems. So once that's done, adding characters will be no problem. So I'd have no problem going in and re-adding things. New characters for each game that's already there, new games in general. So we'll see how it goes, though. We're going to play it by ear. So you can guarantee at least these 20. Everything after that is up in the air. Potentially much more, potentially just this. Any other questions? All right. Well, I don't really have anything else to add unless everyone wants to talk actual game development. And I can't talk much about Riot work. Everyone always wants me to tell them what it's like working at Riot and that kind of stuff. So I can give more vague information. I'll see if I can answer the big ones. Yes, you get free coffee. Yes, you get free fruit in a bowl. So Riot is actually not one building. It is multiple buildings across a complex. Multiple floors and multiple buildings, I should say. I worked with best I can say is that I worked in the creative development building, which was building G, I think. So I was in the same building with the concept artists, the renderers. Creative dev pretty much speaks for itself. Yes, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, the people there are insanely talented. Everyone was nice. Everyone fist bumps each other all the time. Nobody shakes hands or anything. The fist bump is literally a way of life there. It's literally why the logo has the fist on it, because that's all anyone does. Yes, I've met Morello. Because Mike told me to say hi to him once if I ran into him. So I walked up to him one day when I was passing his desk, and I said, hey, my friend says hi. And he's like, cool, tell him I said hi. I was like, all right, see you later. It's a very invigorating conversation. Yes, I got to sit in on meetings for Champion Design. No, they don't take ideas from fans. I once went on a banana hunt with Santu for an hour. Because every floor has a kitchen, a full kitchen. And they supply us with a lot of free stuff. Some stuff isn't free, but it's cheap. Every floor has soda machines, and sodas are just $0.25, which in California is insane, because cans of soda are usually $1.50 out there. They're located in Santa Monica. I flew out many, many times and stayed out there for a week at a time to work. They put me up in hotels that I had no business being in, really expensive, unnecessary hotels. I stayed in a hotel. I think my last or second to last visit out, I stayed in a hotel that was like a little apartment, and it was like $1,000 a night or something. And they just paid it happily. One of the things that I can tell you, and a very positive thing, is that people think that Riot doesn't listen to people or doesn't care, and they're just trying to make money. So the motto of Riot internally, something that you don't hear out here, but we hear all the time inside, is that they strive to be the most player-focused company in the world. They don't like calling the players anything but players. They're not fans. They're not money sources. They're not, a demographic. They're not the target market. They're players. If anybody uses a word that isn't players, it's like you get the iron finger. So they try to go out of their way to be as good and nice to everyone as possible. If you're a Riot employee, so one of the other things people don't know is that most Riot employees don't have the name Riot in their game name. So you've probably played with Riot employees and just didn't know it. You can choose to add Riot to your game name, but by doing that, you become like a spotlight. So a lot of people choose not to. Because if you get into a game and your name is Riot something or other, guess how many people are asking you for RP? 9 in that game alone. So yes, we get asked all the time for free RP. No, they don't just give out free RP. If there's some sort of thing where your account got screwed up and you lost RP to it, then they'll go through refunding and stuff like that. But you'll never run into a Riot player in game and you'll be like, "Hey, can I have free RP?" And they're like, "Sure, have 10,000." Will never happen. Just a heads up for when you run into people. People are also usually on their better behavior when Riot employees are around for obvious reasons. Nobody wants to BM in front of somebody who works and can ban them in a split second. Riot employees are all of a certain type of mindset. Riot doesn't just hire anybody, even if you're talented. In fact, I don't know if I can tell that story. I'll tell it in a vague way, so I'm not giving any names or any real information away. But this is a really interesting story. So, as you guys may or may not know, the MOBA genre was kind of founded by a handful of people back in the Warcraft days. A couple of those people, well, specifically one of those people applied to Riot at some point in the past. And they are literally one of the fathers of the genre. And they came in with kind of a I know better shitty attitude. And they had a direct interview with Rise and Trindamere, the guys who run the company. And he came in and he had the pedigree, he knew the genre at the time, and he, had a lot of assets and just all sorts of stuff, right? But his attitude was not what they wanted. So they told him to take a hike. Which he was, apparently, from what I understand, very shocked at, because he thought he could just waltz in and get basically a CEO sort of job. And they just told him to hit the bricks. They don't tolerate bad manners from any of their employees. Every employee has to treat all players like gold all the time. Not because it's a rule, but because, the value in people is very high, right? Riot employees love League of Legends, and they love the players, and anything that they can make the player enjoy League of Legends more is done. Here's another one people ask all the time. Champion creation takes anywhere between a year or two. So characters that are coming out now have been on the boards for a long time. There are a lot of concept artists there, and they are all super talented and really awesome. There's a lot of former Blizzard employees at Riot. Blizzard leaks employees to Riot all the time. But they'll do concept pieces, and they put them up in a repository where anybody who works there can look at the concept art and comment on it. And if somebody comes up with a really neat idea that a lot of people are like, "Hey, that character looks really neat. There might be something to that," then they start iterating, and other artists will start taking a crack at that character's design, and then they slowly mold and change over time. There are some, I can't talk about any of the concept art I've seen, obviously, that you haven't, but there's some that's leaked online or that they've specifically released so people could see. Has anybody here seen an old concept piece of Vi where she had roller skates and you remember that one? Yeah. So that would be an example of where that was probably one of her original concept pieces. And then, of course, you can see how different she is in the modern version versus that. She didn't have the big gauntlets yet. She just had some like tech on her and roller blades or roller skates, and she still had her short pink hair, which stayed until final iteration. So there'll be little pieces, that kind of go along and stay, because some people will think that parts of them are important, or they probably looked at Vi when she was through development and went, well, we got to change this because this doesn't work or this doesn't make any sense. But I really like the pink hair. That's probably everyone was like, yeah, I really like the pink hair. Let's keep that. And so as she got changed and iterated on, somebody probably did a version of her with like green hair or blue hair, and the one was like, nah, I like the pink, and so it eventually stayed. And good, because Vi's also with pink hair. But yeah, it takes a long time to get from point A to point B with champions. They don't design champions aesthetically with their kit in mind. There's a whole other team that does like kits. They'll be like, we want to do a character who does, like they decide, hey, we want a character that does, like, here's their goal. This is what they would do in a game, in a team fight. They don't just slap abilities on characters. They have like, this is the goal. And they'll go, okay, what kind of abilities can get that character that goal? And they'll go, okay, so here's the kind of abilities we need, and then eventually the artists will get together with the skill people and they'll start matching, right? And they'll start going, oh, this character would be great with this. Oh, we thought about these magical void things. Oh, you got a new mage you're working on. See, that would match up. So they don't build Vi and then go, oh, she looks like she would do this, this, and this. They had the people who designed Vi get together with people who are writing kits and then go, oh yeah, she'd be good as this punching character we wanted to do. And maybe that even influenced the artists a little bit. But regardless, that's how designs are done. They're done because the aesthetics are important and the moves are important, but they don't like lump it all together as they go. But they make it work in the end. Also a funny story, and I love this one, my favorite story at Riot. My name is Eric Ruth, and they misspelled that on my name tag. It was Eric Roth, which I still have my name tag on my door at home. I took it home with me because it was funny. Because one of my desk mates, another really great artist, Santu Huatalainen, his name is spelled correctly, but Eric Ruth was too much. His name is like 30 characters long. I don't really understand Santu. I love Santu. That's the guy I went looking for a banana for like an hour with. Because our kitchen the fruit guys didn't come to our kitchen that day. He's like, I want a banana. Like, we're going to have to go find one. He's like, let's go. All right. So we got there and we're all geared up to work and we're like, fuck it. And we just shut off our computer and went banana hunting. We found it. I think it was in the main building. No, it was in legal. We found it in legal. If you knew San, sorry, that's funnier if you know Santu. He's a very like burly, big, gruff Finnish guy. Yeah, I think those are the typical questions I get. I think that's pretty much covers the basic bases. Yes, I know like the next year's worth of upcoming champions. No, I won't tell you any of them. Yeah, there are a lot of reworks in place. I knew about a lot of things, obviously, before they were released. It was really hard for me to keep a secret when I saw the new Summoner's Rift before it came out, because that was beautiful. I got to go on the playtest for those. They give you free beer and pizza on the playtest nights for those, which don't exist anymore because now it's out and it's live. Well, that's pretty much it. Any questions? These are ones I just picked out that I like. I think work with what I'm doing with the game. I have a particular love of them. There are a lot of characters I love even more than these, but I don't think they would really fit, or another character does it better, kind of a thing. So like I mentioned Sand King earlier. I love Sand King, but this isn't really a game for Sand King. There's no like ground to tunnel under really half the time. There's no, his AoE stuff can be done with a lot of the other characters that are make better fits and work as thematically. Scorpion characters don't really jump a lot, so it just, what I'm saying, it just didn't really fit. I love the character to death, but it didn't fit, so I didn't include him. I got to do a very, very minor amount of champion work when I was there, but nothing really worth noting. And even if I could, I wouldn't be able to say it anyways. But, I did a little. I can say I did something. I'm waiting on the character that I did a very tiny bit of work on has not come out yet, so that'll be down the line. When? I have no idea. 1 to 2 years. I actually think there's a clock at... Oh, That's right. That's the last fun thing people like to hear. The internet, believe it or not, does actually go down at Riot a fair amount. And you can hear people because people play League like just all day at their computer. And so you'll be able to hear whenever the internet goes down and people are in the middle of a game, you'll hear Riot employees like shouting from another corner of the office, "Riot, please! Rito, please!" So it's become a calling even for internal people. Well, if that's all, I guess I'll shut down a little early because I didn't have much to... And I'm really sorry I didn't have more to show, guys. I tried. I worked all week very hard. Kara can tell you. I spent a lot of time this week trying to get this ready, only to have this shut down on me at the last minute. I was really frustrated. I definitely had some BM in that moment. But thank you for coming and showing up on a Sunday morning. I appreciate that to a great deal. And again, reminder, I will take anybody's name and email who wants a demo copy in the coming months, and I will be happy to send it along to you. And then when it does come out, it'll be free of charge. I mean, it's Van Game. So it'll get released, and then I can re-notify anybody when full game is up too, so I'll keep those emails handy for that. So thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful MAGFest, or 13 is what we're on? MAGFest 13.